Welcome to the Let's Have a Chat podcast. I'm Shalane, a best-selling new release author as well as a life and recovery coach. I was inspired to host this podcast to continue to share my story, but to ultimately connect with others on a more soulful level, as communication is key to understanding ourselves and those around us. We're going to chat about substance use, parenting, business, setbacks, but ultimately breakthroughs. So let's dive in. Take what you need and leave the rest. Thanks for being here. Now let's have a chat. And welcome everyone to today's episode of Let's Have a Chat. We've got Spencer Jones. I'm super excited that you're here today. The king. I'm going with king of positivity. The weather sucks where I am. I'm in my comfies. I'm feeling the burnout, and I'm just down on myself. So for you to hop in today, thank you for being here. That's just awesome. I'm curious to know, have you already posted for your daily Energize?
We've shared it out today. Yep, the Daily Energize podcast. Yep, it's out already.
What was your tip or your message, your quick tip for your jolt of energy? Let's hit everyone up with a jolt of energy.
Oh my gosh, no, that's a fabulous question.
That's okay. If it's pre-recorded, it's all good.
Yeah, let me check this out. So we'll get the answer here for it shortly. The thing is, so what I try to do is to maximize my time as best as I can. So I batch record these actually usually about a month and a half, 2 months beforehand. And then
awesome.
Our team members set them up to go out so we can help people out on the day. So today was all about, I just pulled up, gaining clarity was the focus for today. So clarity of, what do you want in life? Where are you going? It could be the big questions like your purpose and, what's your vision, but even just smaller things like, oh, why do I want this piece of chocolate? I want this,
Okay, I always want the piece of chocolate. Okay, let's be honest.
Good point. For me, it's pretty much any sweets, like, oh, a donut. Yes, please. Ice cream. Yes, please. I'll take it. I love it. It's so good.
Spencer, how do we find that clarity? I mean, with everyone is so busy. Me, I got a million businesses happening, 4 kids, a husband, and a partridge in a pear tree sort of thing, right? So how can we find that clarity when we're headed in so many directions?
Yeah, it's hard when you're so busy going at 1,000 miles an hour in all the directions like you are. It can be difficult to find the clarity. So for me, the 2 things that I do to really help me find that clarity, is to have I was going to say some calm, but even just some space of peace. So as you're going 1,000 miles an hour, it's hard to find the time, but I'm not talking like an hour. I'm talking take 30 seconds, 60 seconds, right? To breathe, get some low, deep breaths and allow your body and mind to calm down. If you can do longer, that's beautiful, right? But even if you just take 30, 60 seconds, calm your mind, calm your body as best you can, and just ask whatever question it is that you want clarity on. What's the focus for today? Or what should I focus on today? And you just ask it, breathe in, and then just focus on breathing in and allow whatever to come into your mind as opposed to trying to answer that question. For me, that almost always guarantees I get an answer let's go here. It might not be the exact thing yet, but it'll at least get me going in the right direction. And then as I start to think about it more, as I'm driving to the next appointment or going to the next call, it'll start working itself out because my mind is and the universe is answering that question for me.
That seems so simple.
So simple.
I'm thinking I need to book a 2-week yoga retreat, or I need to go to Bali.
Join us for our events. It's a 3-day. We'll get you that peace and clarity. We could do that too, but all day-to-day life. Let's be honest. Just take that time for you. So many of us are just this thing. And we don't take the time to pause and breathe. And if you do a workout, you do a yoga practice, you can go to those retreats, those summits, those events. That's a beautiful thing if you can. And I highly encourage everybody to do that, ones that resonate with you. We can't always do that. We can't always get away. So as a crazy day, let's just go find that, those couple seconds, those 30, 60 seconds for that clarity. And then for the bigger clarity of what's my direction, where am I going, you do the same thing or attend those events, because then it gives you more space and time.
I think you might need more than 30 seconds of where am I going in the next 10 years, right? That's a deeper conversation, I feel.
Right. Well, it depends on the size of the question, I suppose. You could ask, where am I going in the next 10 years? and have those 30 seconds. It might take you multiple 30 seconds to get that answer. But for I'm thinking more for like the smaller questions of clarity. What's my focus for the day? What should I look at? Or what's the next step? Or I'm missing this thing on this task. What is that thing that's missing? But for those bigger, what's my purpose? Where's my directions, vision? A lot of time for me, it's getting outside in nature. So I'm going running or for a walk, kayaking or hiking. Usually involves movement for me, or going to a retreat. But I still need enough quiet time on there to reflect, and that's usually where I get the bigger answers for those things. But saying that, it's all filled in with little nuggets of those 30, 60 seconds.
I just say, like, full transparency, honesty, it sounds a little wishy-washy to like go and be like, okay, I'm taking 30 seconds. And like for someone who's never done this, right?
Yeah.
Who's like maybe isn't connected to source or self, but wants to start implementing this sort of practice into their life. So I go out, I'm in nature and I'm by myself and my brain is going like this. So can you kind of like, maybe I missed a bit, like maybe walk us through, like, who, is there a voice that comes in? Like, what am I looking for? Or is it a feeling that will answer this question? Do you know what I mean? Like, for me to like tell someone, go outside and ask me a question and sit there for 30 seconds and get the answer, right? Like, it seems a little wishy-washy, it does.
1000%. And I love that you brought up, because for a lot of people that's too woo woo or too, I'll be like, what do I expect? It's like when you read the stories in the Bible and they heard the voice of God, and in my imagination as a kid, it's like the voice of a guy talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you do this. Da, 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 da. It probably didn't happen like that. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I wasn't there. But in our lives, at least for me, that doesn't happen, or very, very rarely does it happen where it's a voice like telling me something. It's usually a strong feeling or an idea that comes in.
Okay.
Right. So some people might call it more like a download or things like that. Let's get rid of that language and just call it, hey, I had this idea that popped. All of a sudden this idea comes in, or it's right at the cusp of it. And then you're like, oh, okay, let's explore that a little bit more. So for me, it's usually this idea pops in, and it seems like a random idea. Saying that, though, usually when it's from source or whatever you want to call it, when you have those and it's attached to that question, I usually feel it in my heart. So I get this.
Do you get like a yes or no feeling, if that makes sense? If yes, like, because you can get an idea and that could be like complete bullshit, right? Like, this is a really dumb idea. You got the idea, right?
Right.
So do you ever experience a feeling of like, no, this is not the right idea. We're going to ask this question again and let's get a better feeling.
Yeah, usually that's my logical brain saying, no, that's not the right idea. And sometimes it's not, and to work through it. But for the yeses, I will say more than no's, I get a strong love, positive energy feeling in my heart, like in my heart center, whatever you want to call it, right here in my body, where I go, that's it. Like, oh, that's this idea that answers this question. It might have been the question from this morning, might have been the question from yesterday, or further clarification from that retreat you took a month ago or 6 months ago. Like, that's where this is. And then my logical brain can start looking and dissecting and thinking about it, going, this does align. This makes sense because of this, those things. But it's not a voice usually telling it to you. It could be, you might hear an idea from a friend or a podcast or on radios or whatever it is. You might hear it.
So it's not necessarily right in that moment. So you're asking the question in the moment, and you may not get that in that 30 seconds, 5 minutes that you're there.
You might not.
Thank you for that clarification. That's where the woo part came in. I was like, okay, this is there 30 seconds asking the question. Boom. There's the answer. Okay.
If stuff happened like that, that'd be
right.
Amazing,
okay, so this makes more sense. I was like, who is this guy? And if this is working for him in a minute, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would have so many different businesses at that point if that would work out. Might not be good ideas, but who knows? But for me, it's usually if I call myself for those 30, 60 seconds, ask that question. I'll usually get some direction of something in that time, but it's not guaranteed. It could be the next day. It might not be, right? But that's okay. As long as we're okay with whatever comes, we're like, okay, cool. I'm just asking this question. I'm putting it out to God, universe, source, earth, wind, fire. I don't care what you choose to call it, put it out there. Cool, let's see what comes. Because for me, what I've noticed is when I start to buckle down and like, all right, I need to answer this question. What is this thing for me? And I'm just thinking about it, processing it so much. I hit a brick wall and I can't. Sometimes I come up with ideas and things, but usually it's a dead end. And I just get burnt out or frustrated. Why isn't this working? Like, for example, my wife and I were putting on a summit a month from when or 3 weeks from when we're recording this, and we're working on one of our activities for the event. And we're trying to figure out, what is this activity? We had one idea for a while, and we're like, this just isn't feeling it. Like, this doesn't feel like the right thing to do here. It just, it's not clicking. And so then we talked about other ideas, like, maybe not, I don't know. And then once we left it open, asked the question, and we're talking like 3-4 days later, we had some ideas that we kind of tossed back and forth. And like, all right, now let's come in and decide this. What feels best? And we pulled these ideas together. Like, oh, we like this. I like this. Let's tweak it like this and adjust it. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, yeah, this is it, right? Because we were open to receive some different ideas and things from, instead of trying to drill it down right then and there in the moment a couple days ago.
And I feel like this could kind of be attached or like to manifestation, right? So you've got like the main idea, the goal that you're working on, but you need like some further direction. So you're putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking the question to kind of like tune in and like nail down the goal, but just to get direction on that manifestation outcome that I guess you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. And it essentially is, right? If you're looking for something, your body and mind is going to try to solve it and answer it. The universe as well is going to try to answer that for you. So, hey, if I'm looking for a feather, cool. Like, I manifest a feather in my life, right? I put that manifestation out there. All right, I'm going to be on the lookout for more and more feathers of different things. Now, sometimes the universe, depending what you believe, will bring it to you, bigger and different things. But a lot of the time, it's you becoming more and more aware of it. It's that, hey, I see a blue car, or I'm thinking about buying a blue car. Now I see these cars all over the place, right? It's that similar idea, but it will take a vibrational look at it. I'm putting out that vibration out to the universe. I try to align myself with, hey, this is what I'm thinking and craving, but I'm not forcing it. As I was talking about, I was trying to figure it out. I was trying us to force it, as opposed to let's get off the brake.
Just let go. Yeah, it's not up to us, right?
Right, just let it come. And if it comes, great. If it doesn't, great. We'll figure it out. I mean, we had backup ideas if nothing came to us. Like,
Plan B, Plan C, Plan D. Yeah.
Right, cool, we'll do that. But let's put this out here first, because I'll bet you every time we've done it, when we've let it go and an idea comes, or those ideas come, even though none of them hit like, oh, that's it at first, once we started to look at them and chat through them, right, oh, that's it. And then it hit, like, this is a thing. And then we knew, okay, we know from experience that every time we do that, it's more impactful, more meaningful to other people in that scenario, but also it's just more impactful for us anytime we've done that.
So this has to become a practice then, because you just said it. The more that we experience it, or the more that we do it, right? So yeah, we need to like start manifesting this shit into our lives that we really want. And stuck. Mel Robbins, she's like, I love her, and awesome. She's the cat's meow. She talks about, she has this thing of go find Hertz today. I don't know if that's like verbatim what she says, but go find Hertz today. And she tells her listeners to just go find her, and be like, universe, show me a heart. And you just go through your day and you'll find like 4 or 5 hearts, and you both brought out the feather. Yeah. All right. That's super cool. Have you always been Mr. Kano positivity? I'm guessing no. So there was a switch somewhere. Something happened and you're like, done with the bullshit. Like, I need to change my life, and something's going to.
Yeah.
How did you get here?
God, how many hours do we have? Okay, well,
I got all day, so
let's just get ready and get some popcorn, folks. Another drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Here for a while. All right. Well, I'll try to reduce it down a little bit. So, for me, I've always been more of an optimist. I'll start with that. Always been more of an optimist mindset, but I also let life lead me the way it wanted to lead me. Right? If someone cut me off in traffic, I was pissed off. I would be angry for the rest of the day, or woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or something good happened, I would be happy. My emotions would fluctuate from happy to pissed off to sad and everything in a flip of a switch. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed, borderline personality disorder or anything like that, or I don't know what the diagnosis would be, but where it was just crazy highs and lows in short amounts of time that I don't know how or why my wife said she'd go out with me when we did and then get married as I was going through this, but she saw me through that, and she has thankfully also seen me grow. Okay, so that's that part of the story. I also let my ego guide me throughout my life. So a long story short, we'll say 30 years of my life, I let my ego guide me. And I think that's something that a lot of younger people do, right? They're trying to prove themselves, trying to show the world, hey, look at me. I know what I'm doing, right? Late teens, 20s, stuff like that.
Flashy.
Right. Just trying to be like, hey, I'm worthy, I'm enough. And for me, it came from a place where I felt like I needed to prove myself over and over and over again. That stems from the way I was raised, how my parents raised me, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And I felt like I had to prove my worth and value over and over and over again. Nothing against them. They did the best they could, but that's just how I took it and how I was raised. So for me, for 30 years of my life, I kept trying to prove myself over and over again. And that was my ego saying, yep, look at me. Oh, look at me. I got this. I'll do the next big thing. I'll do this thing. And
I mean, maybe you can try to prove yourself to your parents and other people when they're not even in the room.
100%.
Right?
Right. They're not in the room. And I stopped talking to my parents when I was 18, which was a hard decision, but it was an amazing decision for me. It freed me from so much of that weight and guilt and that fluctuations of highs and lows of emotions.
That's a young age to set that boundary.
And I didn't know what a boundary was. Like, I didn't know, like, this language thing. I was like, I know that this is not serving me or helping me anymore. I need to stop that connection. And I
that
did.
intuition, eh?
Yeah, right. And it was
cool.
It was difficult, but oh my God, so much better. But my ego didn't stop there. I kept trying to show and prove myself because that was just ingrained in me that I didn't feel worthy or enough. So I kept trying to show that I felt inside that pit. So I kept making choices and trying to one up myself and get better and better and get the notoriety and success through all the different ways. And life checks you. Life says, hey, no,
it doesn't ever.
Right? And it doesn't work.
No.
I'm like, fuck you. I got this, right? I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to show you, like, you knock me down a little bit. I'm Spencer. I got this. My wife nicknamed me before we met. I didn't know this after we met. Her nickname for me, for her family, was Ego Man. Because I was loud.
No kidding.
I kid you not. Ego Man.
No.
I remember she went home when I asked her again. I don't know why she went out on a date with me, but she went home and told her dad, guess who I have a date with tonight? Ego Man. I'm like, isn't that interesting? And so I 100% agree and own it. I had a huge ego. I didn't like it at the time, right? I didn't like that name or phrase coined on me at the time, but now looking back, it was 100% true. Well, as I said, life checks you. Life really checked me. I made some really stupid decisions, trying to prove myself and thinking I was the king of shit, and just rocking life and all that. Life decided to check me, kicked the pedestal from underneath me. I came crashing down, and that's when I hit my rock bottom. Where for me, I felt suicidal. I had 2 ways I was ready to commit suicide, thinking about it. My wife made me promise to not.
I do have to ask. I have to interject here. Was alcohol involved? Because
it was not, actually.
It was not. Okay. No. Because when I went through my suicidal thoughts, I'd never been suicidal in my life. And my last night of drinking, I had 2 bottles of wine after 2 sips of whiskey, took lorazepam, smoked some weed, and my final thoughts before bed were, how many of these little pills do I have to take to end it all? Right. And that was directly related to substance use and abuse, right? Like that wasn't me. So I needed to ask if alcohol or substances were an issue to bring into those thoughts.
No, I really appreciate it because so many people do struggle with that. For me, that wasn't the case. I know I have an addictive personality, so I always try to steer clear of alcohol or drugs, even tobacco for that matter, when I was in that slump or feeling slumps like that. And I was never one thing that interested me. But what brought me to that point was the decisions I made, right? Life got the pedestal from underneath me, but I hurt so many people in my life, not only just me personally, but my wife, my family members, friends. I hurt through these decisions that I've made.
You were married at this time? Or you were still dating?
Nope, we
Okay.
were married at the time, and this was 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. We were married. We've been married 17 years, still married. But I made these really stupid decisions. And so I felt unworthy. I felt like the world's gonna be better off without me here. All I do is hurt people. I don't know who I am. Like when I was really good at trying to be liked by people,
Your ego left the building.
right? The ego was gone. There was no ego
Yeah.
left. It left me empty. And what I realized once I hit that rock bottom was I don't know who Spencer is. I don't know like what I like. Like, do I like chocolate? I don't know. Do I like this TV show? I don't know, because I would say my answers based on who I was around and who I was trying to be friends with or whatever, that I seriously did not know who I was or what I liked or any of that. So I had to rediscover who's Spencer. Now, the crazy thing is I was doing personal growth at the time and for myself and others, but it was very surface level work, right? Of personal growth.
Saying the words, but maybe not doing the actual work.
Yeah, saying the words and doing some of the work, but lighter, not letting it really sink in deep. Like I was doing as a surface work as opposed to that really true inner work of who I am, right? The shadow work, as some people call it. And not that I didn't know about it. I just thought I'm good, right? My ego is convincing me, no, you're good, you don't need to do this. Until I hit rock bottom, I'm like,
I
oh,
know it all.
shit, right? Like, I got this. I'm Spencer. We're good. And then when I hit my rock bottom, I'm like, oh shit, okay. And so then my friend suggested I see a psychotherapist. I'm like, cool, I'll do anything because this fucking sucks. And so saw the therapist. He confirmed a lot of the tools and strategies I already knew, and then started implementing in my life and added more tool strategies to it. So now it could take hold in fertile soil. All those strategies and practices and all those things could take hold. That's when I realized I was trying to prove myself to the world. I felt unworthy. I felt like I needed to prove myself that I wasn't enough. And I mean, and stemmed from my parents, right? So we figured out, we drew those lines back to figure out where that is.
Our
Where
damn
that
parents.
confirmed, right? And then
We've got to break that generational, like,
exactly.
trauma. I'm going with trauma.
Right? Yeah, break the curse, break that trauma that I have had in my life, and then that's another story. But the trauma I've caused other people because I didn't realize what I was doing. But take those building blocks. Okay, let's build it up, build it up, build it up. And I remember for months I was like, I'm an optimist. Okay, what's the lesson here? How can I learn and grow from this to a degree? Right? As an ego man, ego led based at the time. But now I'm going, what the fuck's the purpose of this? Like, why am I here? Why am I struggling? And I didn't have an answer. I did not have an answer of what's the benefit of me being here, except for one thing. And it seems cliche and silly, but for me, it was, I'm going to learn something that will help people avoid this or get through this faster. What that something is, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm going to be learning something. And so that's what I put my faith into that and said, all right, one step at a time, one day at a time, guilt, shame, dealing with all of that stuff from the decisions I made, learning to love me, first of all, learning who I was, and then learning to love me for me, knowing that I'm worthy, I'm enough just the way I am without exception or qualification. I mean, that took months and years.
I love that. Exception or qualification.
Right? How many of us put little like, but this, or, oh, accept this. Like, let's just love you for you. And
100%.
I mean, it took 3 years for me to have, I remember it was last summer, right around this time, when 3 years after all the craziness happened, 3.5, where I had a moment where I'm like, I'm grateful for those stupid decisions, for me hitting rock bottom, as opposed to me beating myself up over it and being angry, frustrated. So I had that moment, but that moment lasted for maybe 5-10 seconds, and then it was gone. And then about a week later, it came back, and it was 20 seconds, and then it came back a little bit more, and it was a little bit longer, and continued on. So to this day, now I don't feel that way all the time, but the majority of the time, 95%, if I were given a number, I feel grateful for the stupid decisions I made, for the experience I had of hitting my rock bottom, because I would not be who I am today.
100%.
All the strategies, the things I've learned, implemented in my life, and then have helped other people one-on-one and then small group to the stuff that we do now. It's all because of that. And so my friend gave me the nickname after all of this.
Same friend?
Different friend.
Oh, because this Ego Man was your wife.
Yeah, my wife named me Ego Man, right?
Ego Man.
And I had other friends who are still with me to this day, which is awesome from before. But a new friend that I made saw what I was doing, helping me grow and build my business. He's like, you're the prince of positivity. And
I just told you the king. Look at
right,
that.
so look,
I love that.
we're level up, owning the
There you go.
and so that's
There's an age today. It's like August 22nd, 2024. I became a king.
get the crown, place it on, it'll be beautiful.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's kind of the journey of me becoming the king and the prince of positivity is of me going through hell and really learning who I was and not being able to help anybody else except figure out those things for me and going, okay, now I can look back and say, I learned these tools, these strategies, and I learned what I needed. Let me work on me. Cool, that worked. Now let me help other people who are struggling. Cool, that works for you. Now how can we build this out into what we offer now, which is a whole ecosystem of community. We have an online academy and we do events along with our whole just ecosystem of the community of being there for people. Right? Sure, I'm good with positive abundant mindset and energy vampires because that's what was training me. Like that's my niche. And then we have people who are amazing at meditation, at nutrition, workouts, Reiki, whatever.
And that's that holistic aspect that that we hear about, right? This holistic lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's not just about eating organic food.
100%.
And drinking water.
Right, like that's great. And that's a start. Or that's one part of it, but then let's get the holistic side of it. And so we've worked hard and are continuing to build our Energizer community so that, hey, you have these resources within the Energizer family. You can look outside of it. That's cool if you want, but we have these resources inside as well to help you. And you know that they're vetted, they've been through the fire, they're willing to help, they're accessible, they can hop on a call like this and chat, and they're there for you. They're not going to judge you. Our main thing is, hey, you're part of our community. We're going to lift you up when you need it. We're going to celebrate your successes, and we're not going to judge you because why? Why try
exactly. That's the point. I feel like holistic should be spelled WHOL.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just that embodiment and
one of my friends' companies is spelled that way.
Actually,
OLE-istic. And
I love that.
I a lot of those.
I think people would resonate more if it
right?
If it was spelled that way. So much clarity about what was going. Like I would say, hindsight's 20/20, right? You had so much clarity as you were moving through it. You saw the psychotherapist. Last night, did you have that clarity and you're like, okay, these are the steps? Or was it like still all jumbled and you're just like one day at a time and I don't know where I'm going, but I've got this tool where you like, okay, this is where I'm at now and I've got some clarity, I've got a game plan, I've got something in place that I can follow?
A fabulous question. I know a lot of people who see therapists seem to stay in the shit like for a long time, right? And work through it. And everyone's on their own process, own journey. So you do what works best for you. For me, I'm a person who likes action, who wants to see results and fast. And one reason why I love the therapist I had and still would go to him as needed is he said, I'm trying to work myself out of a job. I want to get you back on your feet as quickly and ready, set to go with whatever the tools and strategies you need so you don't need me anymore. That's my goal, is to get you so you don't need me anymore. And I'm like,
that is so true. Like, you shouldn't have to go see your therapist for 2 years, 5 years,
right?
8 months. Wow. Yeah.
So that was, so I saw him for 2 months. Now, part of that is I was very, very proactive, right? Once I'm an action taker. So like, here's an idea. I'm going to go with it and make it happen. So I remember our first meeting, it was like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. This is crazy. And he's like, okay, let's figure out some things. And I told him, about my past as personal growth development and the things I was doing. He's like, I like the strategy. Keep doing that. Also, let's see what's going on and let's dig deeper. So for the next 2 weeks or so, we met weekly. For the next 2 weeks after that, it was honing in about me not feeling worthier enough, figuring out where that came from, figuring out what that was and where that came from. And then the tools and strategies I could use to continue to build my way up, right? Build the steps, the scaffold, the ladder, whatever you want to call it.
I love that, moving forward, because a lot of times in therapy, it's just talk therapy out the past.
Exactly.
I've been in therapy since I was 12 years old after my molestation. And obviously, like, that's going to have give me issues throughout my life, and just therapy after therapy, or therapist after therapist, and it never resolved because it was just talk therapy going back to that situation or back to childhood, with my disconnection with my mother. She didn't believe me. So how long do I need to talk about it? Like, I'm 39 years old. I don't want to talk about it anymore. How can we accept what's happened and realize that, yeah, okay, so that obviously had an impact on my life, but we don't have to live there anymore. Let's take action on how forward. So I love your therapist for you. Like, that's awesome. Not sitting in the past talk therapy.
I mean, I don't mind looking at the past. I mean, one of the things is,
It's important. It absolutely is important.
right, like you need to look back and so you can learn and grow from it and realize the things you need to learn, like for me, not realizing it worthy enough, or just whatever that is for you, and accept it and then learn to move forward. We could touch back to keep learning lessons, but if we're just digging up the past to get back into shame, guilt, and negative feelings and all that's not going to serve
You
us.
just feel like shit coming out of your session.
Right, like, why'd I just pay you to make me feel like shit? I'm really good at doing that myself. I
Yeah.
don't need to pay you for this. So thank you. So yeah, he helped me, give me the tools, and going forward, then we just kept taking action, adding new tools and strategies, so layering them on to help build me out. And then I felt after 2 months, I'm like, I feel really good. I feel like I have tools and strategies. I still have 2 months in. It's not like I was, yay, Prince of Positivity at the time. No, I was
Yeah.
still in the shit. I was still had more bad days than good days overall, but I had the tools and strategies to get me out of it. And I was getting out of those ruts faster at that time. So I'm like, okay, let's use these tools. I feel like this is enough for me right now to keep moving forward. And he was always open, like, hey, you can reach out, we can meet again, and check in and do things as you continue on this journey. And so he's always been there if I needed something or want to talk over something or an idea or different things. He's there for me. Like, oh yeah, cool, let's chat. What's going on with this? Okay, maybe he can.
You're still in contact with him today?
Yeah.
I
As
love that.
needed. But it's more just like a referral, like, oh hey, can you help me with this thing or whatever. He even wrote one of the cover referrals, acknowledge testimonials from my book in it, which is really cool to have him like read my personal growth development book and like write the little thing on it. It's cool to be in contact with people. You can check in and be like, oh cool. You get an outsider perspective on what you're going through. You're too close to it sometimes.
Yeah.
When you get that outsider perspective, they can see things at different angles and connections that you might not see, and then share it with you. And then the nice part about being a therapist, he has proven tools and strategies that he's learned and used to help you get out of it and keep going
Did
forward.
you see or meet a couple therapists before you found this one? The reason why I ask is because I feel like we need to interview our therapists. And the reason why is this just came to my mind is my husband and I, we were in a counseling or therapy session together in 2022 in May, May 19th, actually. I know the date because I had turned my phone off and joined the session. And when I turned my phone back on, all that my dad was in, they were power called me. And they're like, you need to get here. It's time. So I missed the call that my dad was passing. And right before my phone on, to end of the session, we're booking the next session. And I'm like, holy shit, like all the schedule is later. We flew out, we were driving like 140, just trying to get back from Calgary to Airdrie. And I was 10 minutes late. And I think I'd let the therapist know either that day or the next day, like that my dad had passed. And not an email, not a text, not a phone call, not a, can I see you again? How are you doing? Like, my dad literally died while I was in therapy with you, and you that like don't have the decency to, or like the respect or like the humanity to see how the hell I'm doing. I just paid you like $220, right? Sorry, a little passionate there. But I feel like we need to like interview our therapist. Otherwise, if you can't get a connection like you have with yours, you're going to be spending that $220 every week, and you're not going to get anywhere. Like it's a connection you have to have with someone. So did you like meet a few, or like was this just a one-off and it just worked?
I'm lucky in that sense, where I'm I'm 100% behind interviewing your therapist. Like, interview them, make sure they're the right fit for you. If they're not the right fit for you, find somebody else, right? There's other therapists out there. So interview. For me, there was a handful of psychotherapists. My friend says, don't just see a therapist, see a psychotherapist at the time. I'm like, sounds intense.
A therapist for the psychos. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
all right,
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, that
Yeah, that fits me right now.
That fits.
Yeah.
So I did a Google search and looked at reviews, and for me, I didn't interview them. He was the first one I met. But saying that, I looked at a ton of their websites, the ones that had websites or their bios, read about them. If I could find video clips about them, I listened to it, watched it. This guy that I saw had a podcast, so I listened to a couple of episodes of his podcast so I could get a sense of who he was and how he worked, his energy and flow. That made me feel, okay, this is good. Let's go there. And then I went. My wife was there. We kind of interviewed him-ish together for the first little bit, and then I had my session for the latter half of that time. And then I'm like, okay, cool. This guy's it. Like, it was an interview set up at first and then turned into really quickly, because I'm like, oh yeah, you're the cool guy. You're the right guy for me. We click, we connect really strong. We don't need to worry about, okay, interview stuff. Let's just get into the shit so we can get through it.
Were you at the point yet in your transformation where you had asked the question and then he came into your life? Or was asking the questions part of the tools and strategies that he gave you? And did you manifest him?
Oh man, not intentionally. I'll say that I probably did, looking back, because my friends had so this. I'm like, well, who should I see or whatever? So I put it out there, but it wasn't intentionally. We talked about it first, where I had the quiet time and shared that. That didn't even come necessarily from him. That came from my practice and things I've learned after that fact, right? As I'm continued on my journey and learn more about manifestation and energy work and vibrations, that came more after. But I would assume I did in some way, shape, or form, put that out there, and then he was the right fit.
Because we manifest shit into our lives, and whether we believe in it or whether we don't believe in it.
100%.
Right? Like, it's just like science, which I actually want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about your emotions were like a light switch, and super happy, super sad, feeling awesome. I am fucking raging now. I love my husband to death. I really do. But I also feel that he does this light switch flipping all the time. Not all the time. He's getting better. Not so much the raging, but just like really down on himself and depressed, and then still in love and loves life and has all his goals and ambitions. And you talk about, or you school people about the energy and the science behind men and energy. That's right?
Yep. How, agree, right? Yeah.
Okay. How can we help the men out there who, I feel like this is common for men to have these like fluctuations? I think maybe part of it could be because there may be so much pressure on men, especially in a family dynamic, maybe to the provider and the dad, and just like all these like financial pressures, right? So how can we help men tap into themselves or their own energy in order to get a control of the light switch?
It's a fabulous question. I really appreciate it. Everybody experiences these pressures, right? So women, you experience pressures that we don't experience as men, right? The societal expectations and different things like that I don't get to experience. But men also have that too. And I appreciate you flipping it onto the guy side of it, because that's something that's not talked about, in my opinion, nearly as much. And maybe it is, and I just don't see it. But guys do go through that, whether it's the financial stress of being the breadwinner of the family, or what they think should be, or the societal expectations that we are, when that doesn't need to be the case.
And trying to fit like traditional molds.
Right? So you're just trying to keep these traditions, keep what society expects of you, or what you feel society expects of you, what your family expects of you. If you're religious, what your religion expects of you to be and do. You have all of these expectations that weigh on you. Now, some of them can help you be at your best and align with where you're going, right? That clarity about, hey, this aligns with my dream, my goal, my vision of where I'm going to go. Great. Some of them don't, and that's okay. To recognize and be aware of that's one thing. And so I recognize that these are aligned, these aren't aligned. But a lot of the time, especially when you're starting out, you're not sure if this is your idea or not. Why do I feel pressure right now? Oh, it's because of financial stress. Okay, why do I feel this financial stress? Is it because we don't have as much money in the bank account as we'd like, or we don't have money coming in, or is it because we don't have that house yet that I feel we should have? Why do you
Or is
feel
your partner putting that stress on you, right? Like it could be internal or external.
exactly? So just becoming aware of what the root of that is, like where it's coming from. And so then you can figure out, okay, does this really align with me? Does it not? Why are they putting this pressure on me? Does that matter to me where that pressure is coming from? If Katie tells me that, okay, it's going to hit me differently, putting that pressure on me than somebody else, or we put that pressure on ourselves. Okay, but I can still manage it. Even if Katie puts it on me, that's still up to me to accept that energy, to accept that weight and own it.
Oh,
But
I
it's
love
hard in
that.
that moment.
That's up to me to accept it.
And for
Just because
men,
that comes in, you don't have to eat that for supper, right?
exactly, just because it's here, it doesn't mean you have to take. You be like, I'm good,
Yeah.
thank you. I refuse to accept your energy, and having that positive energy, that light, the gratitude, the stuff that we work on. And
So
everybody,
wait, I'm gonna stop you for a sec.
Yeah.
Can we is there another word for energy that we can use? Because not all men who are, not all men want to use that term.
Yeah.
I know, like, just thinking about my husband, if
Right.
they honestly don't see him say, no, I'm not going to accept that energy from you. If he, like,
Right.
speaking to me, right? Is there another, like, term or, like, another way we could verbalize setting that boundary? Because it seems like,
I'm trying to
it
think. Yeah,
seems kind of like,
it seems woo woo, right?
it totally does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it totally does. But I think it's really important for men, women, to make a voice and tell their partner, their kids, their spouse, whatever, that I'm not accepting that from you. But
I mean, it could be
to
like,
say I'm not accepting your energy.
right?
Yeah, and John said that, and to be honest, if he said that to me, and like he's trying to make changes in his life, he's actually like, I'm not accepting your energy today. I knew, we probably got to talk a little minute. So, can we like rephrase that, reframe that a little bit?
I mean, that's tricky. I'm trying to think of other terms. I mean, you could say intention, or we can find a fun name that works for you and your couple, and just whatever name you want for it. For me, I'm trying to think of the ones, and I'm drawing blanks, except for like, I'm feeling this because I'm feeling this from you because of whatever. This is how I took it, and that's, I don't want to accept that right now, or I'm not taking
Oh, I love that.
this at
I'm
the other thing.
feeling this. So rather than just rather than I'm not accepting what you're saying or what you're doing, that means I'm not accepting you
Right.
in a sense,
But if
right?
I'm feeling this energy, if I'm feeling this, I'm feeling like you're mad at me right now,
Yeah.
or you're trying to pressure me about money right now, and I'm not ready to address that. I'm not going to take that on. There's ways around that, and I love that you would be open, and hopefully you and John are open to be open and share and talk about these things. But so many people don't, so many couples don't.
Oh, we definitely don't.
And that's beautiful that you do. And so, and hopefully a lot of the listeners, viewers do as well. But I know many people don't. And it seems like, and I'm going to be stereotypical here, so don't hate too much, but it seems like women are more open to talk about these things with their friends, other female friends, as opposed to guys. When guys get together, we rarely ever talk about feelings or emotions or how we're doing mentally. We do guy talk and ha or whatever, just stupid shit that doesn't really, it might matter in a small scheme of things, but it doesn't get down to the depths of it. So talking about John, highs and lows, invite him or have him join a group of a community of guys where they can be open, but they're also just hanging out. Like I joined a group up here in Wisconsin called Dudes and Tacos, and they get together once a month, and they did the research.
Please tell me we eat tacos once a month with these guys.
Always. That's part of it, right? They bring in tacos every month, and so we do different things. But the cool part is, they'll bring in a speaker occasionally, like every other month. They might bring in a speaker. They share an article, and then we'll talk about it as guys about mental health in some way, shape, or form. And then we eat tacos and we do an activity. Like last month, we went out and hit golf balls at a driving range, and one's at a bowling. Of course, we were back here at my house for a ninja day with a ninja course I have in the backyard. Just like different things, because what they found is guys just want to get together and have an activity of some type to do, but then also we can add in this, and then they're opening up their minds to, oh, I can have these conversations. I have these guys I can reach out to. It's not a therapist, but it's okay to talk about my feelings and mental health of what I'm going through. And seeing these big, some of these guys are, skinny guys, like the nerds who are opening, talking about, then you get these big burly guys opening up and talking, and it's just so moving and impactful to witness, to be part of, and also know that I have a safe place I can go. And I'm honored that I have my wife I can confide in and share that and be open to. I also have a small inner circle of guys that I can just pour my heart to and be like, dude, I feel like shit. Like I'm really struggling with this, or I'm beating myself up, and they can be there to help and support me.
And I think that maybe stems back to, sorry to interrupt, just game thing. I think that stems back to, and you talked about when you were 18 and just growing up with that ego, right? Like that big ego. You start going to the bars, you start meeting girls, trying to like the puff your chest, right? Like, and maybe because all men start out as little boys, right? They're soft and they communicate and they cry, and then it's like as puberty and we get into adulthood, the hormones and the changes happen, and the stereotypical breadwinner tradition thing happens. So I think that's where the ego comes in, and we men maybe live with that for so long and are forgetting who little Spencer was, right? Or who little John was.
100%.
And we just kind of, so yeah, edging. So Wayne Dyer, he calls ego edging God out. Wayne Dyer saved me from so much in life. Rest in peace. But I love how he says edging God out, and not God, the man in the clouds, but God as you perceive him, her, whatever, right? And at the end of the day, I think it's really your source, right? Your little Spencer, your little flame, your little John, of edging that innocence out and trying to overpower it with the traditions or like the stigmas, and just trying to put yourself, like you said, on that pedestal, right? So
one of the best meditations I've ever done, that I've participated in and have done on my own and then have led subsequently, is talking to your inner child. And you have to be open to it. It seems
it's so weird. I've done it and it's so weird.
It's so
weird. We're still crying.
Right. And I remember we were led into, like, okay, for me, it was like, find your perfect place and put yourself where you feel safe, comfortable, and that place. And then there's a door that appears. And so you go to the door, you open it up, and it's in this room, right? And in your room is your inner child, the little Spencer, right? Little John or whoever. There's this, and then they see you and they just smile, and then you smile back at them, and you can have these conversations. You can ask them questions, and they might ask you questions. And for the one that I participated in at first, was they just want to play. Just bring them outside and play. Right, so we were playing outside in this beautiful place.
We don't play anymore.
Right, we don't play. So I mean, it's all in my mind as I'm thinking about this. But I can't tell you the sense of relief, sense of joy that I felt of little Spencer being like, holy, like, he didn't swear, but like, holy shit,
me maybe swore.
Right. So like, yeah, like, holy shit, like, it's all gonna be okay. And like, I remember him saying, like, you are enough. Like, you're amazing. Like, to me as the adult Spencer. And I'm going, and it seems crazy woo woo, but okay, you could be saying, well, yeah, Spencer, you're telling yourself that. Yes, but it didn't feel that way. Like, it felt like my inner old young Spencer was seeing me today as me and sharing that without the older Spencer having any intention or forcing anything. It just came that way. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I was like you, I was in tears. I was crying. I was just so in it and so grateful, and this weight fell off of me. And it's truly moving if you're willing to do it and maybe step outside your comfort zone and try it. But
it's weird when we do that to ourselves. Like me, Shalane, soul is the same as it's always been. I'm just an older, wrinklier happy now, right? But
Man,
my
tell me,
essence,
I tell with mine. I don't
you
know.
know, like my essence of who I am, that's what makes me me. But we're so influenced by, well, now that we didn't have this in the 90s, we had MSN Messenger, but like the social media influences and like just these expectations that we put um on our adult bodies, right? And our adult minds. It's not fair. So to tap back into that woo-woo of connecting with your child or just connecting with yourself.
Right. And how many of us,
Right.
lose touch, as you said, we don't remember or connect back with our younger versions of ourselves. And for me, I don't remember most of my childhood. I don't know if I blocked it all out or whatever. I don't remember most of it. I can remember little tiny sneak in peeks, like from like when I was 7, 1 or 2 from when I was 11, 13, and then a little bit. It got a little more and more after that. But man, there's so much of it. And so when I can connect back to there, it's not that I also had all the memories and stuff, but I felt that energy, and who that Spencer was really cool.
I feel like this type of work would be really important for individuals, men, women, whatever, who don't have children. I have 4 children, so like my youngest are 3 and 1.5, so I'm around that like childhood, that child energy all the time, and the inquisitiveness and the curiosity and the fun and the play, and you go to the park. I'm almost 40. How many 40-year-olds go to the park? We don't have kids, right? So I think that if you don't have children, to really, it's going to be harder work to tap into that younger self, because it's going to, like, you haven't been with children potentially
Right.
for years since you were a child yourself.
Yeah, if you can be around kids, whether nephews, nieces, or friends' kids or something,
Don't go to the local playground and start taking children.
that might be kind of
Break
awkward.
microphone out.
And the police after you, and
Yeah, we're not going to go there. 3 tips. What 3 tips do you have for people who, no, I'm kidding us. 3 tips that you have for people who want to get started, who are stuck, who are at rock bottom. And then 3 tips for people who are like, well, on no way, but I want to just like upscale my life. I want to upscale my positivity. 2 or 3 for
Yeah.
both, whatever.
all right. First one, you're at rock bottom. You're in this shit. You're
I mean, I'm
struggling
in this
hard.
fucking hole.
Is we'll see if it is. The biggest and best thing I did is I looked for something I was grateful for. And I looked for 3 things I was grateful for in that moment. And it could be big, they could be small. Sometimes it seems so stupid to be grateful for it, but I was still grateful for it. Right?
You don't always have to go big with your gratefuls, and I think this is a misconception. I'm fucking so grateful for my toothbrush. Like,
right?
aren't you so grateful you have toilet paper? Like, it doesn't have to be, I'm grateful for my family, but I'm grateful for my family and my education. Like, just like, I'm grateful for this pen that I'm writing notes.
Exactly. And if you ever get stuck, we can go into the whole thing. If I get stuck, I'm like, I'm grateful for my journal. I'm grateful for paper in the journal, who made the paper. I'm grateful for whoever invented paper. That's great. Who invented the pencil? Who put lead or this graphite inside a pencil? Who came up with that? That's freaking amazing. Like, I'm grateful for, like, whatever. You can go down these rabbit
Have
holes.
fun with it.
But that was the biggest thing for me, was finding things I'm grateful for and then not repeating them for an entire week. It's not that I'm not grateful for it. I'm so grateful for the stuff I wrote down yesterday, but I'm trying to expand the things that I see and notice and are aware of that I'm grateful for.
Oh, can I add to this?
Please do.
So rather than just like in the moment, what I'm grateful for now, what we're just talking about is connecting to your child, to your inner child. We can be grateful for things that happened in the past, right? I'm so grateful for that camping trip that I went on with my best friend when I was 7. I remember us riding our bikes around, right? Because everything that you've done, like, kind of leads you up to where you are today.
100%, right?
Yeah.
You are here today because of all the past experiences, good, bad, and different. You are here because of those things. They have brought you and made you to who you are in this moment. And saying that, if you're in that shit and you're trying to gratitude, doing all that, know it's going to be okay. That you are worthy, you are enough, you're amazing just the way you are, right? Without qualification or exception. No matter if you're in that shit, you are still amazing, worthy, and enough. You might not feel like it, but you are. And I hope you know that in your heart of hearts. So the second one would be to accept that and feel that inside of you. Know
everything is okay in the end, and if it's not okay, then it's not the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And take it one step at a time, right? You're going to want to leap ahead and go get out of that shit as fast as possible. I get it. I've been there. I wanted to get out of it. But in the end, it's one step, one thing at a time that leads you out of there. And someone will go fast, right? So they'll get you out there a little faster, but it always happens with one step at a time. So just remember that as you're in the shit, find your gratitudes, know that you're amazing, worthy, and enough. Take it one step at a time.
That's cool.
And what about for us who we're well on our way? We're just a little bit stuck. We know about our gratitudes. We know one day at a time.
Right? You know those things. You've been practicing it. You're shining your light.
Yeah.
One is what is working for you currently that is helping you continue to shine your light and rocking it. What are those things that are working for you? Keep doing those. Also, on the reflection, what are you doing that's not serving you?
So
that you picked up along the way that you're like, hey, this helped me. This helped me 6 months ago or a year ago. And I'm keeping up because it helped me. But now as I reflect, I'm like, it's just kind of holding me here. It's becoming an anchor now as opposed to launching me forward.
Things, like you mentioned, things that don't have a roller's purpose in our lives anymore, about people as well.
Exactly.
Right? That's a tough one to be like, okay, well, this person was in my life for 22 years and served their purpose, or I serve their purpose and in their lives too. Maybe I can't be of service to that person anymore. But it's okay to like, we're good here. We don't have to continue this back and forth. It's not working for me or you or even both of us.
Right, the pathways verged on your journey together, and then they started to separate. But if you start to force it together, that's when the tension and stuff occurs. Just allow it to separate. It's okay. It might come back later. It might not. It can still hurt. You might still feel the emotions or feelings of that separation, and that's okay. But knowing that it served its purpose, and now it's time to
and
move.
You'll feel that. You know when it sort of fits and it's time to live. How can people like work with you and get more of you and follow you and like what's your phone number? What's your address? People are showing up at your doors, but
love it. You're welcome anytime. Go to the next room.
Please don't share your phone number or your address.
I will say that's probably the best way to check out all the stuff that we do is just go to our website. It's wearejonesin4.com. So we are, and then JONESINFOR, like you're Jonesin for
positivity,
or chocolate, or whatever, right?
Okay.
You want to that stuff. And you'll. I've been told this, and I'm not saying this for me, but I've been told this by a couple of people. When you visit the website, it's like you get a hug from us. And so shout out to our web designer, Javi, who created it because it's freaking amazing. But if you want a hug, check out the website. You can see what we do there. We have a free Facebook community called the Energy Hub. All are welcome. We're all about energizing your scroll. God, I couldn't think of the phrase. Energizing your scroll, adding positivity to your feed. And just that's a beautiful way. You can connect with me on Facebook.
We do workshops.
Yeah, we do. We have in the community, the free community, we have master classes. We have other workshops there. We put on events all around the world. Obviously, we have our summit, as I mentioned, in Chicago, but we're going to New York next in February. We're going to Austin, Texas in April for some of our one-day events. And then we do stuff in Philippines and, I don't know, Wisconsin, all over. And we'd love to have anybody who's interested. We're trying to get, we need a minimum number of people to sign up for an event, and we will be in Canada in a heartbeat. We love it. We have some awesome energizers up there, but just know I'm here for you. I'm flexible. Reach out to me on social media. I would love to hear one of your takeaways, and if I could support you, Shalene, or any of you in this.
Any of them. All of my personalities. All of the Shalenes. Spencer, do you have any parting words for our listeners today?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking.
You do better that.
I do. It is this. You've heard me say it before, but I hope you hear it with an open heart, open mind, and just let it sink in that you are amazing, that you are worthy, that you are enough just the way you are. You don't have to do anything, change anything, or prove anything to anyone, not even you, because you are amazing, worthy, and enough. Thank you so much for having me on.
I love that, Spencer. Thank you so much for being here. And I think I'm definitely gonna have you back. So you are amazing, you are enough, and you are worthy as well. So thank you. And I hope you have the best day ever.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you found it enlightening, inspiring, and it puts a little pep in your step. Please be sure to like, comment, and share. Together, we can change the world. Until next time, I hope you have the best day ever.